Three, two, one.
Hello everyone and welcome. Welcome to today's discussion and topic on light guide systems, or LGS as we call it. My name is Fred Wells. I'm one of the 60 or so sales engineers for Rhino Toolhouse, and we cover the eastern 2/3 of the United States. We go all the way from the Dakotas down to Texas and all the way over to the Atlantic Ocean, and we're here to help and serve you. Who is Rhino Toolhouse? Well, Rhino Toolhouse is both a manufacturer and a distributor, and we're a family of brands dedicated to quality, safety, productivity, and innovation. And our focus is on companies that do manufacturing and assembly operations. And just a second ago I mentioned innovation, and that's really what we're here today to talk about, which is the light guide systems. It's a very innovative product. Think of augmented reality meeting either error proofing or process proofing, if you will, to where just like when you're playing Xbox or your kids are playing Xbox and you swing a bat or a golf club, you're actually able to track the movements of whoever's doing that motion. Same thing here with LGS. We're able to track movements of the worker to not only know that they're doing a task, but we can do things like time them, make sure that they're doing it in the correct sequence if that's important, and also doing it correctly so that the product that goes out the door to your customer has been put together, assembled, kitted, whatever it is, done correctly. So in thinking about today's topic and discussion with you all, I thought I would share a story with you about a local company here that produces generators. Obviously, for some companies and hospitals, very important to have standby power in case the power goes out, that they can continue to power all their needs inside the building. Well, when they send these generators out, they're supposed to have basically, as I call it, like a care package, and that's all the installation instructions, like any spare parts list that you might need in the future, and also any of the components that once the unit has arrived, you might need to do the final installation. Well, what's been happening in many instances is that these care packages were either not going out, or if they were going out, they were not done correctly. So what would happen is this generator would show up at the job site and it could not get installed. So obviously what happened then is you had some people that were maybe upset or disappointed. They were trying to get an installation done at a certain time, and it created all sorts of problems for them. For the manufacturer, what happened now is they had to scramble and more time and money and expense to get these instructions and things shipped out. Many times they had to get them overnighted or call in another vendor to help get the to get the installation complete. So obviously it cost the manufacturer a lot of money. So these things can have some real life effects for the end user. A couple of things that I just want to get your mind thinking about as I get into the discussion here is when you think of your process, maybe imagine if you didn't have to be so dependent on your workers every day, from the standpoint that if they didn't show up or if they called in sick or whatever, you could still complete that process correctly and on time. Also think about what if you had your line supervisors able to do their job, maybe not tying them up to do training all the time, right? You have new people coming in. We talk about the worker shortage these days, and you're probably tying up your best people or your supervisors to constantly retrain the new people all the time. Well, you won't have to do that with LGS. And then lastly, and maybe even more importantly, you can send out a product that has zero defects. And that's the thing that you want to key in on here, is because you want to get the product to the customer correctly, right and done the first time, so that they can complete their tasks once they get the equipment. So I'm just curious if anyone here in our audience would think that that would be a good idea. I'd like you to raise your hand. Great, well, thank you. Well then, excellent. Today's topic is going to be helpful for you. So today I'm going to do a quick demonstration of the light guide system for you. Think of it in terms of this is just the tip of the iceberg. I would encourage you to go to the Light Guide Systems website, where they've got lots of videos there that show all the capabilities of this technology. You'll be amazed and impressed. I would also encourage you to go to our website, rhinotoolhouse.com, where you'll see a video not only on the LGS, but all the other assembly and manufacturing products that we offer, products and services that we offer. So please do that for me. All right, just want to go through all the items that I have here for our demonstration. As you can see, I've got a stand set up Overhead, I've got the LGS projector from Light Guide Systems, all right? And that is what is going to project down onto our workpiece here and is going to take me through this whole kitting operation that I'm going to do today. Tied to that is an Orbix 3D camera. Essentially, it's an infrared camera that will track and note where my hand is or arms or whatever we're using, but in this case my hands know where that is at all times for my hand movement and my placement. Next, we have a Cognex Camera, which is basically the vision system that is used to do the inspection process to make sure that I'm putting things in the right order, in the right spot as the process moves along, because it will be important that obviously if I'm putting something together that I get all the components put into the right areas. I also have with me a cordless tool. I've tied this tool into the controller here so that as part of this process I have to tighten down a couple of screws here, which I'll get into in a minute, but this is tied to the controller so that we know that I've actually tightened those two screws and I've tightened them properly to secure the components inside the box. So one of the things that we have included in our demonstration today is called a soft button, and that is a button that the operator only has to swipe. It's not a button that they have to press or step on, and that will then okay the process to say that I'm ready to go to the next step in the process. So as I get into this, I'd like to have somebody, if somebody's able to come up and help me. Sir, how about you? Would you come up and help me? Hi, what is your name?
Kyle.
Hi Kyle, nice to meet you. Appreciate your help today. You look familiar to me. Yale, class of '88?
No.
No? Okay. You were born later than that? Okay, well,
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining me. All I need you to do is swipe when the arrow is projected onto the table for me, okay? All right, so let's start the process today. So I'm wearing a barcode scanner, very much like a typical, handheld gun type scanner, if you will, but this one is mounted onto the glove of my glove here. A very unique scanner, and when we come out and do this demonstration for you on site, we'll show you this technology as well. So I'm going to hit the barcode, and what happens is now you can see the table light up with instructions. And what it has now instructed me to do is to grab this tackle box and place it into this square. So you heard a beep saying that I put it in the right spot. Kyle, can you swipe the table for me? Okay, thank you. Please try not to knock that off. Okay, thank you. All right, so now we heard two audible beeps giving us an okay, and now it's popped up saying that I need to put this plug into this square on the box. So I grabbed, wait just a second. I grabbed this plug out of this bin that was illuminated and I placed it into the box. We get two audible beeps. Okay, can you please swipe for me? Okay, thank you. Okay, now the next thing I asked me to do is to close the lid, which I just did. And now, just wait a second, Kyle. I know you're anxious to get the process complete and get on to your next task. I certainly appreciate that. Now, the next thing, it asked me to place this label on there. So I grabbed the label out of this bin, got an audible beep saying good to go, and I placed this label on in the square. But we did not get an approval yet, because what happened is I put the label in upside down. So if I take the label and I put it this way, now we get a beep. Kyle, go ahead and swipe, please. Thank you. All right, now the last thing it tells me to do is to grab this tool and go ahead and tighten these two screws down. And I get another audible beep saying, okay, Kyle, go ahead and swipe for me one last time. Excellent. All right. And you heard now there was a clap, which means I have completed the process and we are good to go. Kyle, thank you so much for your help today. We appreciate it. All right, you can have a seat. Thanks for your participation, and you get an extra hour of Xbox tonight. Okay, so we have taken this all the way from the start of the process through. There were no written instructions. I was able to follow along. If I made a mistake, it told me where I did. And now the end result is that I've got a completed product that is ready to ship and ready to go. So hopefully you've seen by today's presentation, we talked about some things early on about the worker shortage, not having to spend a lot of time training people and producing a good quality product. And I think what you've seen here today, Light Guide Systems, shows how it can help you accomplish those types of goals. So we appreciate your time today. In closing, once we're done, we'll come out and talk with all of you. We'll set up appointments to come to your facility or come to ours and run through this again for you. So if you have any questions, we can get into it then. If you can't stick around, that's fine. Get us a business card or feel free to go to our website at www.rhinotoolhouse.com, fill out the info page and send in your information and we'll contact you right away. Thank you again and have a great day.